All right, we are up. All right, so we are back. For those of you who are just watching us live, we're back live again.
Yay!
That hurt my ears this time, but
It's all right.
let's get into this. Hey guys, welcome. This is I spoil it. Episodes 4, 5. God, I'm off.
Screwed up.
Yeah. All right. So, but
4.
4. So 4 of here we are. We're going to talk about a little show that you may have heard of with cowboys and sci-fi, sci-fi, better than sci-fi. But
You
we're going to talk about Westworld, and let's just jump into it. Forget who you know. I know who you are. You
Forget
know
who
who I am.
y'all. Fit which one. Just
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, just jump into it. It's fine.
Let's step into it. Yeah. Wipe your shoes. Um, Oh my
Disgusting.
gosh. Oh my gosh. This show. Where to start? Okay, well first of all, let's start with the episode name. And yeah, I'm terrible with languages. I can't say it, but it's like trem I don't know. It's a French phrase that basically says or is converted to mean deceive the eye. I thought that was pretty fitting. This whole show, I think, should be called this, but just this episode alone, deceive the eye, because there's a lot of deceit going on, not only within the show, but also with us as the viewer. You know, they pull you one way, and then they go, "Nope, we're going this way."
Well, yeah, and it's. I think this week we got, in my opinion, the 100% confirmation that William is the Man in Black. Which you and I have discussed this on the show and off the show, and we were convinced a couple episodes ago, or at least had in our minds of we think this is where this is going. And I think this week just concreted this in stone, going, look, this is William is the Man in Black, at least in my opinion. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Um, yeah, we got a little bit more. There was, oh gosh, and I wish I had written this down, but there was something that he said, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I don't remember what it was, but it
Oh, were
just
you talking about how he lived his life in books?
yes, that's exactly where I'm going.
We'll take it along there, little boy.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, he basically said it's because of you, because of what my past life is outside of this world is just it's crap, essentially.
Yeah, he said in the outside world, it's fake. I can't be who I want to be. He says, but people come here to, have fun and act out things. He goes, but I think here it draws out your true inner self. And I'm finding who that is right
Yes, which
now.
it's like, oh, really? Because, and then he talks about the facial expression on his future brother-in-law's face, and he's like, I've been wanting to do that for so long. And it's like, okay, so we're getting his origin story to eventually when he becomes the Man in Black. Because why would you tell us that? Like, here I can be who I am. I can let my inside out. And we know the Man in Black has been going there for the past 30 years.
Right. It's
So,
it's his vacation,
yep.
which I think if you think back to past episodes, especially the when they just first got there and he and his brother-in-law are talking, which they're not even brother-in-law yet, because this past episode said that when he gets back to reality, he's going to be getting married.
Yep.
Um, so he and his future brother-in-law walking through that town, and they were talking how their company is looking into into Westworld to purchase it or buy into it. And that it's going to be a great investment, which sounds like in the future timeline, they are corporate.
Yes.
The Man in Black is more than likely the head of this corporation. which is why when you hear the head of security say, "Oh, what that guy wants, he gets," um,
Yes.
that just starts to make sense more and more. So
Yeah.
um, I think that was a good hint in the early episode, and then looking back and seeing that the Man in Black possibly is corporate, so it makes more sense.
Yeah. And
This
well,
guy's been coming for 30 years. So.
yeah, and there was some other things that because you had gone back and you've been watching them again, and you had kind of seen um, some some similarities between what is it level 84
Right.
and William's arrival
Yeah,
to
when
Westworld.
William and his brother-in-law arrive, it looks like that is the same level or the same docking bay, whatever, that Jeffrey Wright and the security team go down to that's flooded.
Yeah,
And of course, when he goes down to hook up to that other computer on a different level at 80 something, sub level, whatever. But
that's right.
yeah, so this place is the electricity is malfunctioning, the cooling system's off. There's water everywhere, but it looks like that's where Jimmy or William came into, which is kind of funny because I went back and started rewatching the first 3 episodes because my wife was a little interested, and so she's getting into it very slowly. But it's funny how when you see the brother-in-law, he comes across as kind of a Billy Badass, you could say, but he gets off the train, and not only does he have a girl on him, he's got a guy on him. And then when you watch the episodes of him basically whoring himself up, getting liquored up, he's doing it with guys and girls. So here's this bisexual guy, which I didn't catch on to that right away. I
No, I
thought,
didn't either.
I didn't. And then when I started watching it again with my wife, she went, "Oh, so he's bi." Wait, what? And that's why I paid attention. I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I just thought it was kind of funny, But here's this guy who likes to act like some kind of Billy badass,
Uh-huh.
So it's but yeah, you notice more when you go back and rewatch these, which I'm starting to do.
Yeah, which I think that'll be something that I do to binge on, to go straight through, which I think will be kind of fun to do because we just had 7. We've only got a few more because there's about 10 episodes. So we're getting closer and closer.
Which do we have an episode this weekend? I forgot to look. I think we
You know
do.
what? I didn't look either. That is a very good question. Let's see.
I would think so. I mean, it's granted it is Thanksgiving weekend, but it's a show that's still on Sunday night. So
True. So let's have a look. Westworld. Just going to jump on to IMDb because it'll kind of give you your dates of air. Let's see, season 1, and we are looking at November 6th, November 13th, and yes, we get one on November 20th.
oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting too. Ooh, which looks interesting, but we'll talk about that next time. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, there's yeah, I like where they're going with that character. I like this relationship, and something's going to happen even more to piss him off. Whether Dolores
Yeah.
does something to him, which then he has that anger towards her in the future when she's reprogrammed or whatever happens, So there's some good stuff. So yeah, but some of the other stuff in this episode, here we have this new character that showed up, the episode before, who basically works for the corporation, who's coming in to check this place out. Um, Pretty much doesn't give a crap about anything around there and just wants to get, old man Ford out of there.
Well, yeah,
Because
she even takes one of the hosts out of the park and basically, has him pleasure her in
yeah,
her private room. So yeah,
exactly.
that was interesting.
Which at first I thought it was going to be the storyteller guy.
Oh yeah,
Even though they said, oh, someone from upper management has requested this, I'm just thinking, okay, somebody wants to ask it more questions, and then you get that and you're like, oh, okay, okay. So, which ties into some of the theme of what this world is like. We don't care. We go here, we can do whatever we want. It's like an updated version of of Vegas. Whatever happens in Westworld stays in Westworld.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because in some of the past dialogue and some of the older episodes, I think it was Ford who talked about how the outside world has just become so plain. They've managed to, cure all the sicknesses, how people are living longer. Um, and so basically the outside world is just, you know, there is no danger. And so that's why Westworld is there too. So I caught onto that this past week when I rewatched a couple of episodes with my wife.
Okay.
And kind of went, oh, you know what? I don't think I really recognized that line before. I didn't take it into account. So it's almost like maybe the man in black, because remember he was around that campfire. The guy walked up, hey, I admire your work, and he goes, look, you say another word, I'll slit your throat. I'm
Yeah,
going on
because
vacation.
when he got caught off, he was saying like, you saved my sister's life or my wife. I think it was
Right.
sister's life, and that's when he's like, you say anymore, and and it's like, oh, okay, so from what we know of him now, or what we think we know of him in the past to what he is now, he's done some growing within the company and basically has taken over that company. Um, and now he's this hotshot because he constantly wants to go back because something within his storyline from his past triggers something in him even more. So like I said, either Dolores does something and there's anger there, but maybe because now here we are, she was doing that drawing in on the train,
Right.
and she's like, yeah, I dabbled in this and it was always things that I could see, but I wanted to do something different. And then she says this is from memory or something like that. And then all of a sudden, when they're running from the um the Indians, they come across her picture. And so now we're
Right.
going to get them splitting off. So something they get somewhere, they do something, we know that they don't find the maze. Or
Well,
maybe
that's the thing is because remember when they were in that town, she saw that the tarot card girl or tarot card girl. She
yes.
handed the card of the maze. So you got to search out the maze, and so the man in black slash William is with her, and so it almost seems like maybe they start down that path, and maybe my speculation is maybe they run into Arnold,
Yeah.
and Arnold is building this maze or he's building this private area. But if you remember in some of the past episodes, the corporate chick, the white chick, when she's talking to the head of security, and how the park hasn't had an incident in over 30 years,
Okay.
which that's when Arnold was killed.
Yes.
And they're starting to speculate. I'm starting to speculate maybe now that it was Dolores who did it,
Could be, or was it,
or William, one of the
or
two.
was it, yeah, who knows? But then again, it
Because
probably,
they've already said that Dolores is the oldest host in the park.
yes. And she knows how to use a gun. Um, it was hidden. There's all these tie-ins. It's almost like you need to set up, like, when you watch those old shows and they've got pictures all over the place and you just got the string going everywhere and try and tie in
Yeah,
what's
like
what and who's
Deadpool.
who. Yeah, there you go. That's right. I forgot you did that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, that's what makes the show fun and entertaining, is because it's not a traditional cookie cutter show. It does fall in that line of what Lost was, and what some other shows have been like. You're wanting more. It's like what Game of Thrones is. It's like, oh, I've read the books, and now I'm watching the show. Yes, it's different, but you're still on edge. What's going to happen next? I it you know, all joking around and stuff. It's like, you know, when you'd watch 66 Backman, you know, it's like, will the Cape Crusader get out? You know, it's,
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's kind of that, but not that, because it's more serious, of course, you know, because 66 is all camp, but it is that. It's like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen next? Will this happen? Will that happen? Um, because, you know, we've talked these last couple of episodes, and we've had our speculations, you know, we've looked at some of the rumors, and man, this show, it just, sometimes you think you know things, and then some things you don't, so who knows where things go. I love it.
Well, and we were on track with what you want to bring up. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, you did kind of talk about this, and I talked about it in a different way. But you know, let's let you, you know, you've been on this for several days. You've been annoying me with all these text messages. I was right. Oh, by the way, you know, and hours later, oh, by the way, did I tell you? I was right. What are you
that's right.
talking about?
Yep.
Well, if I tell you, it's going to spoil it. Oh, okay, I don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. So
For 4 days,
so um basically, in the last
asshole.
episode, we were talking about Bernard and how well he is at detecting people's twitches, detecting people's movement, and he can gauge this. You had said, yeah, you know, we can do that too. They did a show, you know, about that, which was a great
Yeah,
show.
there are people who are trained to do it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the one thing that was nagging at me too is that, not, they don't say that. He says it personally. It's like, I can do this. But what you don't realize too is that Maeve is saying the same thing. I can read people. And that's what made me think Bernard is a host. And lo and behold, this last episode, he's a host.
Right.
And oh
Which,
my
interesting
gosh.
enough, when you look at this and you learn that Bernard is a host, that really he's not a host because he's
He's something
not
else.
tied into the system.
Yeah, he is something else.
He is something that, you know, Ford made in that basement, which, remember, when they were down there, Ford was making someone new.
Yes. Or
Um,
was he making someone replacement?
Possibly, yes. You know,
Yeah.
they just killed Teresa, and
Yep.
she might have to make an appearance.
Yes, exactly.
Um,
That's what I thought. As soon as he said, you know, as soon as Ford told Bernard to take care of it, I'm like, oh, she's dead. Wait a minute. And they left her there. You know, he
right.
just walked out. So it's like, oh, so we're not going
And
to get rid of
and
it.
for me, it hit me when she says, "Where's this door going?" He goes, "What door?" Because I
Yes,
went, "Oh crap, he can't see it because he's not programmed to see it. He's
absolutely.
programmed to actually ignore it."
Yes, and that kind of tripped me out, because you saw him walk in, he's holding the lantern, looking all around, you don't see the door, you know, and then it cuts over, and then you see her walking in, all of a sudden there's a door there, and I'm like, I did the same thing, like, where's that door lead to? And then he's like, what door? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, yes, you know, it has to be. And I loved the emotion that you got from Bernard, where he's like, no, what about my son? What about my family? What about my, and he's like, well, I programmed you to think of all that stuff.
Right.
So he didn't even know, which was awesome.
Oh, it's brilliant, and the fact that Jeffrey Wright can play this character so well,
Hmm.
it's awesome. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I've always liked his work, his acting ability, but this show, it shines. It really does. And one thing I thought about when all this went down, I actually paused it and went, "Oh crap!" And I started recalling so many things that he's been doing in past episodes. One of which is him sitting down with Dolores in those private sessions, having her read Alice in Wonderland, you know, about going down the rabbit hole and exploring more about who you are, and basically him kickstarting the possible independent AI within her.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so,
Which could
which I'm going,
be
holy
past.
crap,
Hmm.
yeah.
But see, now I want to go back and look at that and look at the room itself that he's doing in it. Because wasn't there times where he walked downstairs and she's sitting in
Yes,
there? Yeah. So
yes,
that's the room that we were in this episode where he's been
correct.
talking to her.
Well,
Uh,
we're speculatively, because remember
oh yeah.
the room they sat in, there wasn't a machine making a new body.
True, which then we could say that we were even further in the past. So who knows? Do we have another timeline that we're seeing? Do we have
Well,
an
and,
early?
but even they confirmed that when they had Teresa down there, because he's only been there so many years, 10 years or whatever it is, or 12 years, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, knowing what you know now, and then going back and rewatching, which I might do tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you.
Um, yeah, knowing what you know now and rewatching some of these past episodes, you kind of be going, "Holy shit!"
Hmm.
Um, I'm super stoked about this because when they had that whole confrontation of the hooker killing the Asian guy and making some kind of scene so that they could fire really fire forward. Oh, one of your hosts rebelled. We have it on video. Um, Even Jeffrey Wright's character, is going, look, this bullshit. I saw what you did, and it doesn't work this way. Your programmers are shit. If they were
Yeah,
that good, they'd be working for me.
yeah. I
Um,
loved that conversation that he
oh,
had.
that was awesome. And so that whole thing went down, and then you're seeing more and more stuff, and the whole fact that Jeffrey Wright's character is in fact a host, but not a host because he's not in the system, and he's not when remember when he ran that search last week and he found those 5 independent hosts that were
Yes.
basically Ford's family. Um, he was not found on that search.
No, he wasn't. So he operates on something different.
Yes, there's something completely independent, and the big question now is where's Elsie?
Yeah, exactly. Because she disappeared. We don't know where she is
Right,
and how she's
someone
tied
took her.
in and who took her. You bring up the whole incident that they tried to set up, where like someone, they have to get rid of someone, and they use this example where they have one of the security guys basically beat on the prostitute that they take, out of the Westworld, and they do all these they did some programming to her to make her remember a portion of it, and then she takes it out on this security. But what you also may not be focusing on is when they tell him to freeze it, they both freeze.
Yeah, he was a host as well.
So he's a host as well, but he's a part of the security team.
Right.
So it's
Which
like,
remember it was either last week or the week before we talked about that because the butcher team who is working on Thandie Newton constantly, the white guy tells the Asian guy, look, your behavior doesn't match this. They should have caught that in the ovary or in the breeding process.
yeah,
You're kind of
yeah,
going, wait a second, what?
exactly. So that's why I'm going. So is this just another confirmation that we also have them as more of the workforce within that building? Because they always say, when you come down here, we don't know what the outside world looks like, and we've talked about
Right.
that before. So really, it's a world within a world, um, within a world in a way. It's very Inception like, but we're not in dreams. Um,
Well, and they all do tours.
yeah,
It's not like they leave work at the end of the day and go home. No, they're stuck there. And
yeah,
so, do these people think they actually have an outside life? And in reality, they're like Bernard.
yep, and
They're
have no
made to
clue.
work. Yeah.
So who knows? I don't. It's just another one of those carrots that seem to be dangled, and we just don't quite have the answer yet. Which
I'm
again
I'm excited
makes
to
it
see
exciting.
where Sandy Newton's character goes with
Well,
this.
yeah, because she flat out says, "I'm getting out of here, and you guys are going to help me."
And but the guy's response is every part of you, from your inside to your skin, is designed for here only.
Yeah.
And
So
so it almost gives that mental picture of you try and walk out that last door, and you basically collapse into goo or whatever.
Yes,
Um,
unless you have reached the maze. Because my guess
yeah,
is once you've reached the maze, you're out of here. You're done.
yeah,
You have given yourself, your own conscience. You have become this artificial intelligence that doesn't need a programmer anymore. You have what's the word I'm looking for? You have ascended.
hmm
So who knows? We may go through this whole thing, and it could be a doom and gloom, and everybody dies except for Dolores, and Dolores is the only one who gets out of there.
yeah. I'm excited.
I know it's great. I mean, we just finished 7. We have 8, 9, and 10, so we have 3 episodes left, and then we're just sit and drool and wait for the next series to pop up.
Yeah, what would be interesting is that at episode 10, you have this big cliffhanger, and then season 2 comes out, and it's obviously called Westworld, but we're not in Westworld. We're in a different world.
That would be great. I would love for them to expand on what Crichton had for us. I want to see these other worlds.
But
You
you
know,
don't get any resolution for another season.
oh no, you don't. But now you get other stuff going on,
Right.
or I don't know. I mean, the
Or maybe
guys.
Dolores has crossed the threshold, or the Man in Black has crossed the threshold to another area. That's my hope, is that this maze does not entail just the Western world, and that we get into more of Crichton's
Ah,
movie, and he's having to go to Spaceland, Renaissance Land,
it's called
whatever,
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland, Star Wars
Okay,
Land.
so yeah, so okay, let's look at it this way. Then I mean, if that's the case, and the maze is the center of these worlds, so then if you get there, you have basically doors that open up to these other lands or something like that. I don't know. Possibly. Kind of like when you watch Nightmare Before Christmas, and Jack stumbles onto the trees, and you've
Yeah,
got Thanksgiving land, Christmas land, Valentine's land, Easter land, and maybe that's kind of how this one looks. Who knows?
I personally would prefer, you know, there being a big, huge circle here, the very center being, the center of the maze, but the maze is spread out over the different
I gotcha.
timelines.
Oh, ooh, some time. Okay, that
So
yeah,
you have a, Renaissance world, you have, the West world, you have these other areas, but to get to the center of the maze, you have to work through these different lands to
I
get there.
gotcha. I gotcha.
That's what I like.
So tying
I
in with,
hope they do.
yeah, which tying into going down the rabbit hole,
Right.
because once you go down this, then you get to here, you have to get to here. So if you think of Alice's journey and what she has to do, is that she almost completes this circle starting here to get back to here. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see um, not only who or what Ford is making in the basement of that house, but who else he's done.
True. Yeah. What else is out there that he hasn't
Right.
told us about? Because he has this plan, this story. I want to tell a story, um, and no one's going to stop me. The board is going to threaten me, but they're not going to follow through. There's all this stuff. So who knows what's out there, um,
Well, on
that
top
is
of
just
that, remember
waiting.
the preview for next week, in that Dolores has these flashbacks of this town with a church in it, and yet when Ford is walking around and deciding where this new land's going to go, he comes across that steeple just sitting there in the
Yeah.
dirt, and it's going, okay, so is this something that was originally planned or already done? He's resurrecting possibly.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, so many unanswered questions. And it's like it's an addiction.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. And that's because it's very well done. It's very well written. Um, I love the music, um,
Yeah,
and I love
that's.
where they're taking this. So
I'm hoping they keep up with the the excellent writing. They stay ahead of it and it does not become another Lost, because towards the end it just got so bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
when it started, it was phenomenal. I got into it late. I think fourth season or something, and it
I did
drew
too.
me in. I was binge watching it constantly, going, I gotta catch up, I gotta catch up, I gotta catch up. And I hope this stays the same.
Yeah, I hope it does too. I hope we don't have that incident where it's like we have to get back. We have to get
Yeah,
back to the island. I don't want that. I just want to stay on this roller coaster. But so far, if they keep doing what we're seeing, then this 5, 6 season will be good.
right. I think so too.
Right on. All right. Well, is there anything else that
That's it. That's all I got.
yeah, it is too. I think the only thing that honestly, the only thing that kind of bothered me about this episode was the the beating of that character when they set her up to have those memories click in.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
it did. It bothered me, but it was made to bother me. It bothered me, but then of course, you know, Bernard's character was like, "This is BS. It was nothing. It was so fake."
Right.
But man, it got under my skin, and that
Yeah.
just kind of shows us what kind of world this is. Um, this board member is willing to do anything.
It's very callous. Yeah. It's horrible,
Yeah, it
but it's so
is.
exciting.
I know, right?
Makes you
So
feel, what kind of person am I?
yeah, you're a bad no. No, but that was the only thing. It's like, oh, every time, it's just, oh, and of course, it's not real. It's technically a real person, but as these characters are growing and getting these personalities and stuff, then you start to buy in that, yeah, they're real people. Um, so the acting has been really good. The stories are really good. The writing is good. The music is good. I mean, if you're not watching it, then why not? Um, so, but
If you're not watching it and you're watching this,
yes, thank you.
come
Now
on,
go watch
really?
it and
Now
then
go
come
watch it.
back. Yeah, you should be watching it. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know some of your thoughts of where this could be going. You can send it, you can make comments right at the bottom, or you can send questions, comments, concerns to constantcollectible@gmail.com. Heck, you can shoot me a tweet on Twitter. I'm at C_collectible. And you can do the same for Goody. Where would they send it for you, Chad?
You can send it to me on Twitter at ChadGriffin12. But you can also find me on Instagram at DJ Kilt, and as well as over on our website at constantcollectible.com.
Absolutely. And we are definitely okay. So we just talked about this, that we're gonna have to find some time. We're definitely gonna have to find a moment to talk about this next week, even though it's Thanksgiving week. I wasn't even thinking of
I
that.
think that's a good idea, because since we are having an episode Sunday night, um, maybe Wednesday night or something. But
Okay.
we'll find some time. Yeah, we'll definitely let you guys know. We'll shoot something out across social media to let you know, either Wednesday night or even maybe Friday morning or something.
Something's got to give. So because we got to talk about it, because it's just gonna be heated, because this next episode just sounds like it's getting even more interesting, because what they're saying is it's Trace Decay is the name of the episode. It will air on the 20th, and it says Maeve hopes for a chance in her script. Teddy is disturbed by painful memories. Dolores has trouble separating her dreams from reality. Bernard is ordered to return to business as usual. The man in black looks to the past to explain the present. Oh,
It's gonna be a good
interesting. Oh
one.
man, yes, it is going to be a good one. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to find some time to talk about it. We'll let everybody know when and where. If you do miss us live, don't worry, I'll have it up on the website, constantcollectible.com. And in the meantime, enjoy what you enjoy, and you know, say hello. Stop by. So thanks for watching.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, you shall. Bye, all.